Alright, this is section 5.4, point slope form. Our objective today is we'll be able to write and graph linear equations using point slope form. Now, previously we've learned about slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And if you remember this, that means, which we all should remember this because we just talked about it, but m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. That's why it's called slope-intercept form. Now today we're going to be going to something called point slope. And what point slope is, it's a linear equation, which is what we're doing in this whole chapter, of a non-vertical line written as y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. The line passes through the point x1, y1 and has a slope of m. So a little bit more information on this next page. Looking at point slope, we already read the definition, but look here. Unlike when we have our slope where there's y1 or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, now all we have is an x1 and a y1, which means we only have one point. And we also have our slope. So basically it's just another way to write a linear equation. So make sure that you understand this key concept. You can pause the video and read this through a little bit more, but we're going to move on to the next page. So the first example is telling us to write an equation in point slope form. And, well, since I'm a genius, I know that y minus y1 equals m x minus x1 is our point slope. So basically, I have to write, or my answer is going to be in this form. Now, which ones am I going to substitute out? I'm going to substitute out y1, m, and x1. Now, that means y and x are already going to stay there. So we're just going to write y minus. Now, I need a y1, which means I'm going to look over here and I see a negative 4. Now, I'm going to put it in as y minus negative 4 because that's my y1. It's my only y point. So there's x1 and y1 equals m is our slope. Well, it tells us our slope is 3. So we're going to put a 3 right here. X minus x1. What's my x1? It's a 1. Now notice it's always going to be minus y1 and minus x1. So I would not accept this as an answer yet because you need to simplify it. And the only thing that you need to simplify right here is the y minus a negative 4. If we keep change, that should be a y plus 4 equals 3x minus 1. Now, that kind of looks like a 2, but that's a 1. Now, if you look at this part right here and right here, so the negative 1 and the 4, notice what were our points before? A negative 4 and a positive 1. So see how they are opposites? So when you write your ordered pairs in point slope, they're going to be the opposites of what they were in the original problem. I want you to try this problem on your own. Pause the video. When you're ready, click play, and I'll walk you through that problem. Okay, so hopefully you got something that looks like this. Y minus 6 equals 5, x plus 3. If we go look back up here, I need to replace y1, m, and x1. So if I go over here, I labeled this one my x1 and this one my y1. And then I also labeled this one as my slope. So all I do, oops, I forgot that this is a negative 5, so I'm going to have to put a negative 5 right there. All I did was replace m. All I had to do is replace y1 here, and y1 was 6, so it's y minus 6. And then see what I did here? I already simplified it because I know that this is a negative 3. So I remember that it's going to be the opposite. So I'm going to do x plus 3. This is our answer. That's all we have to do on this first problem. Now, how do we graph something that's written in point slope? Well, it's actually almost as easy as doing something in slope intercept. In point slope, we are given a point and a slope. The slope is easy to find. It's right here. So the slope is negative 2 because remember the equation is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Now this is where a lot of people get in trouble. They write their 2 points and they know that this one is our y and this one is our x. So a lot of people write, oh, my point is negative 2, 3 because of keep change. That is actually incorrect. Remember what I said on the previous page, it's the opposite. So if I go back here, my y is actually not positive 3, it's a negative 3. And my x is not a negative 2, it's actually a positive 2 because it's the opposite of the value that they are in. Okay, now that I have a point, I can go to that point. So I'm going to go to 2, negative 3, which is right here. And I'm just going to use the slope negative 2 over 1. So that means we're going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And do the same thing the other way. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And all we're going to have to do is make a line from there. We'll see how this works. Like that. Okay, so all you have to do is find the point and find the slope, and you can easily make your line. Again, pause the video quick. Try to graph this next one on your own. I know you guys don't have all this stuff in your packet, but feel free to grab another piece of graph paper or graph it on the same graph and let me know how that goes. But right now, pause the video and I'll check in with you in a couple minutes. Okay, this is what you should have had when you solved this problem. Let me walk you through what I had to do here. I had to find my point first. I know this is our y and this is our x. Now my x was originally negative 2 from this problem and my y was negative 1, but you have to make sure that you take the opposites because it's in point slope. So our actual point is actually 2, 1. And our slope is right here, which is just up 2 over 3. So what I did first was I went over 2 up 1 to my first point right here, and I went up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, and did the same thing the other way because when we graph we want to go through the whole entire graph. So that's it for the first video for chapter 5.4. Make sure you watch the other video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.